Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy Who Tells podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Joan is always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we are live. We're live on Crowdcast right now. You can follow us, crowdcast.hq. There's a link to it in the show notes. If you want to hang out with the chat room, you want to participate in all this goodness, if you want to listen to music before I start the show, that's where you can find it. Okay, I have to cut that part off on YouTube. They be trying to tax niggas. Okay,
right? YouTube be like, no,
we monetize your video for Universal Pictures. Like, nigga, I don't know them. Okay, I played 3 seconds of a song. They shouldn't get all this cash, but yeah. So if you want to hang out and party with us, I say you come over here about 15-30 minutes before every show. I hop on, play music. The chat room is in there vibing. They talking about all kinds of stuff, filling in the room, and you get to meet the regulars, the people we shout out during Guess the Race and respond to their comments sometimes during the show. So that's a great way to participate. Speaking of great ways to participate, don't forget we have a live show coming up.
We do.
We will be at the Blumenthal Center for Performing Arts on Saturday at 3:00, September the 9th. September the 9th. And people are already getting their tickets. I'm already seeing y'all.
Yay!
We love when y'all like hit us up to be like, yo, I just bought my ticket. See y'all there. I got my virtual tickets. I'm gonna see y'all over the internet. Some people have already forwarded their PDF file for like, hey, I bought an in-person ticket. I can't make it, but I'm going to forward it on to the next person. So if somebody can make it, they're in the Charlotte area, but they ain't got the 20. I feel you. I got you.
Right.
Email us, theblackouttips@gmail. I'll forward you that ticket, because that's what we do. We pass it on.
Yep.
But also it's a great way to support us. Us selling tickets is the biggest fucking like deal right now.
Yes.
If you're hearing the sound of my voice and you're like, how can I help this show out? I can't make it, or I can make it, or I come through with the ticket sales. That's what they care about.
Yes, come through with the tickets, be it virtual, be it in person, or you're like, you know what, I want to support, I can't make it. And for like Roger said, we understand everybody ain't got 5, but you like, you know what, I ain't got the 5, but I still want to go see Rod and Karen live, and we would love to see y'all. We are really, really excited about this. We excited about seeing some of the faces we've seen before and some new faces.
Yes, so we can't wait to see y'all there. In the meantime, we're still going to do a show, and you can do your feedback by looking in the show notes, and all that stuff at the bottom is how you leave feedback. Emails, voicemails, comments on our website. Of course, if you're on Spotify, you can contribute to the Q&A and the polls and the stuff there. We got plenty of ways for you to interact, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this show.
Coronavirus. Again? Look, here we go again. We got variants. Really need to keep a mask on hand and follow the plan. Get the vaccine and second shots, whether woman or man. Black Guy Who Tips is doing their part, but the dumbest expand. Niggas would rather believe a bunch of misinformation. Fuck y'all idiots not getting shots. Now we gotta regress. If we keep going in this direction, we never can rest. Never can get back to the lives we be living the best. Damn fool, stop the lying. Stop the intubation crying. Cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. Damn fool, stop the lying. Stop the ventilator crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. I do not understand this shit. I'm not a fan of this. We were like one win from the pandemic championship, but fuckers wanna leave it to game 7 with Giannis Delta Kupo blocking forward progression and Chris middle fingers to your plans, man. Damn. Looks like it's no Drew holiday for you and your mans. I'm sick of black people dying for real, so I'm just writing this new piece to let you know how I feel. Coronavirus. Yeah. Fuck that COVID-19. It's unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe. Yeah. So fuck that COVID-19. It's unseen. It's creeping in the air for you to breathe. Yeah.
Coronavirus news. That's right. It's still happening. I know y'all was thinking like, wow, we still on this? Yeah, nigga.
Coronavirus, just because we got tired of it don't mean the virus did.
Right. Swindlers use Barbie dolls to rob COVID relief program.
What?
Yeah. Come on, Barbie, let's go party indeed. Okay, they was just getting ahead.
Type of partying.
They was getting ahead of the
Barbie craze.
Okay, This is from June 28th. But yeah, Barbie Ken and wax figures meet some of the fake personas at the heart of PPP scheme used to obtain fraudulent funds.
Yeah, a lot of this shit happened underneath Trump, and Trump and them just didn't give a fuck, and they purposely and strategically designed it where the shit was hard to trace and hard to track and hard to kind of find out. So it's taken a while to get people, but that's the shit that shouldn't have happened if they would have had the things in place. Yes, it would have took a little longer to get your money, but they would have made sure that the money would have went to the people that it was actually supposed to go to, and not just any and everybody that applied.
Yeah, in this case, they were uploading doll faces and other figurines as images for the phony accounts that were given to the government investigators and later obtained by the messenger. So like they were like, oh, it's the PPP program. I'm just uploading a picture of Barbie's face. And this is just a fraction of the estimated $80 billion in fraud that happened during the PPP rollout. Because as all the reasons Karen pointed out, called fintechs, the companies build themselves as computer savvy middlemen who could help who help people get government money from approved lenders into the hands of small business struggling after the pandemic hit in the spring of 2020. They claim that artificial intelligence software would automatically check applicants' pictures, IDs uploaded to PPP application portals, but scores of scammers uploaded the doll faces instead, and they got the money, no questions asked. By the way, this is probably one of the hottest takes on the internet. I don't think anybody's saying this right now. I might look like a fool in a few years or however long later, but I think artificial intelligence is the new crypto.
For right now, yes. And until it gets to the point where it's better, it is trash. Like, not trying to be funny, y'all know the same artificial intelligence that can't tell my black ass hands from the soap dispenser is the same thing y'all got out here trying to scan faces. Get the fuck out of here.
Look, I know everybody's telling you opposite. I know, and I might be wrong. Like, I'm accepting that. It's a hot take, but I feel this in my bones. I really feel like the overstatement of the abilities of artificial intelligence is a grifting ass scheme to just get money out of the hands of very rich, powerful corporations into the hands of people that we are going to find out months from now could not deliver on the promises of artificial intelligence. I think Netflix issuing like a $900,000 job for somebody to come in and help them make artificial. I feel like we're 6 months away from being like, yeah, the person that promised them they could do that shit could not. And this whole thing ended up being a big ass fucking mess. And nobody knows what happened because they're always pushing shit one step before it's ready. And there's always grifters at the forefront of these movements, especially Silicon Valley ass movements. And I think this person, and also a lot of times the people making money decisions don't have any knowledge about what they're actually investing in. Mm-hmm. They're not the experts.
Right.
So they're easily very culpable to grifting people. The same thing happened with like Theranos and shit like that. Mm-hmm. Like, I really feel like that's what happens is someone charismatic or whatever convinces these motherfucking CEO types at the top,
separate
like,
from their money.
Yeah, we got artificial intelligence. So with our artificial intelligence, because they just hear that buzzword and their dicks get hard. With our artificial intelligence, we're gonna be able to vet the processes and so that we can use less government employees to do. And all that person did was just open up the fucking floodgates and go, man, we ain't looking at that shit. They done paid me my $1 million or whatever the fuck, and I don't care who gets these loans. They'll come get me in 4-5 years when they figure out what happened. But you know, I'll just be like, I don't know. I guess the artificial intelligence fucked up. No one's gonna go to jail. That the people that should go to jail are the people behind the fucking fintech programs, Womply and Blue Acorn. The people that run that shit is malfeasance. That shit is so what they promised, and then literally opening up the coffers to $80 billion of fraud. Someone should go to jail, and they won't, because those grifters never fucking do.
I agree because it's one of the things where y'all knew that y'all could not do this. Y'all knew that this is some shit because the thing is, eventually, and I think people panic like what it will turn into is happening right now. No, live in the reality of what we're in right now. Right now, AI is not that smart. It is not that bright. Not that it can't do great things. Not that it can't do amazing things. But the shit that people claim that it can do, a lot of times it cannot do that bullshit yet. And so they take that stuff and they scare people into tossing money at it and shit like that. And it becomes very frustrating because human beings, everybody just goes into this fucking panic. And then like you said, you got these grifters that'll come in, be like, well, oh, I take your money, knowing that they're promising these people something that they cannot deliver on. You need to be held accountable. Yes, whoever owns this company needs to be fucking sued. The government needs to go through and look at their books, go through emails, and be like, what the fuck were y'all doing? And why were you even allowed to do this shit in the first place when you knew you could not deliver?
It's just none of it works like it's supposed to already. And the stuff that we have that's supposed to rely on just like, it's not even full AI. It doesn't work. You know, closed captions that are supposed to automatically do it. If you look at like a YouTube or a TikTok, shit don't work right. If you look at like it worked close, it's just not enough. It doesn't work right. It's hard for human beings to work right, you know, in that way. When it comes to stuff like your phone, you know, autocorrect, like shit don't really work right ever. And now we're like, but we can completely put our hands in the lives of these fucking computers designed by men, but designed by man. We can put that shit in, like it's gonna work. And then every time I read some fucking story involving AI, it's always a fuck up. It's never just like, and it worked perfectly. It's always like, yeah, the AI wasn't ready for this thing, or it was stealing shit, or it didn't really create anything new. It just kind of stole everybody else's work. Like it's always some bullshit. So I'm not surprised that the heart of this shit is some AI bullshit, because I think it's a grift. Someone got paid that will not go to jail, and this shit should be illegal.
It should be, and it's very frustrating because the people that go, well, this is my degree, like, hey, I'm in this field, or you know, a lot of them who build this shit going, it can't really do that. But the people that are making the decisions don't really talk to the people that have to execute the bullshit.
But see, that's the thing. The grifters are the middlemen between those people and selling it. So like your expert might be somewhere like, what the fuck is Elon Musk talking about? We can't do that. But Elon Musk is someone talking to the government like, yes, we can. We can do it all. We just give it to me. Give me the money and we'll take care of it. And of course, 6 months later, you find out it's just fucking NFTs. It's not real. A Florida family behind church that sold bleach as COVID cure ended up going to trial July 17th. They ran an online church that peddled a poisonous industrial bleaching agent as a miracle medical cure, and they'll go on trial for federal charges in Miami. What I think is interesting here is just how, one, I love that they're still getting these people.
Yeah,
but you know what the COVID thing really brought out in a lot of our society was just the grift.
Yep.
From ivermectin to these motherfuckers to the churches to like everybody that ran a grift, and the PPP loan people, obviously, just, it's like it was grifts on steroids.
Yep, there was no checks and balances, and it was designed to be that way. Don't care
well,
what you
even
say.
It's not just the checks and balances. I think people are just rife for being grifted.
Right.
When they're panicking.
Because when you're panicking, you're not
You're
checking.
looking for a solution. You're running to whatever the fuck feels good, and you're scared. And most of the stuff was about people being scared. Because why else would you think a fucking church, the Genesis 2 Church of Health and Healing, operating out of a home, would be able to cure, let's see, it promoted their miracle mineral solution as a cure for 95% of the world's known diseases, including HIV, AIDS, autism, Alzheimer's, leukemia, and COVID-19. That is nothing but snake oil. That is just like an 1800s, 1700s man with a cart standing in the middle of town square saying it cures everything. It gives the pep in your step. It cures your worries.
Shit, then going on to the next town.
It'll stop the vapors. It'll, it's just that If you got herpes, it'll clear right up, and you just take 2 sips of this, and then it'll be gone by 3 days from now when I'll be out of town somewhere else and you can't find it.
Right.
But yeah, there were so many stories like this, and I'm glad that some of these people are the feds, so probably DOJ or somebody is continuing to fucking be like, nah, what we not gonna do, you know? Coronavirus is back, but how worried should you be? Seeing a bunch of variations of this article.
Back? I thought the bitch never left. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah. Basically what they're saying is there's been an uptick in people catching coronavirus, an uptick in hospitalizations as well. It's a slight uptick. It's not. We've been having summer surges every summer during COVID.
Because people are outside.
Well, it's interesting. People don't really know the reason.
Oh, okay.
Because COVID doesn't really spread outside that well. So some people are. There's a bunch of guesstimates, a bunch of, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, but no one seems to know for sure. This is not as high of a surge as the last 2 summers,
which is a good thing.
So it is still going down comparatively. Right. And a lot of anecdotal stories end up in these fucking articles, which is why I keep scrolling to the fucking bottom, because it's like, they want to be like, this person caught it and that person caught it and several members of this. And it's just like, we don't have numbers as much as we used to because we stopped tracking all that data.
People stopped reporting. Yeah, if you had numbers and things you could do. Yeah, like it's one of the things. But right now, everybody's just guesstimating. And when I said back outside, I mean people are going to concerts now. Like people are in places where they're around each other.
I guess, but see, okay, so this is the reason I push back on that. The logic was we would have winter surges because everybody would be inside, meaning they were going to events that were in enclosed spaces. If you're going to a concert at a stadium, the risk of transmission is actually lower than if you go into like a basketball game in the wintertime where everybody's inside. So we still don't really know why the summer surge, like people thought we'd have winter surges and summer lows. This is what the same thing happens with the flu. This was what the model was. Is
similar to the flu.
So this is the 3rd summer in a row where clearly
this is a trend.
It's going up,
right?
And like I said, there's a bunch of guesses. We don't have to solve it here between the two of us, but there's a bunch of guesses people have. Like, and I'm sure some scientists somewhere got to be studying this shit, so we'll know definitively one day. But people are like, global warming, meaning while we're saying everybody's outside, they're really inside, or I don't know, like just different. They just have different things, but they haven't really pinpointed exactly why. That's all I'm saying.
Right, because they don't have the scientific numbers and the studies to actually be like, hey, based off of the numbers and the stats, these are our guesses. Right now, everybody's just throwing shit out there because nobody really knows because they don't got no data.
Yeah, there's guesses. This doctor here says people are congregating in air-conditioned settings, and that is providing an opportunity for transmission. So that's, but that was the reason they said it was going to happen during the winter, was you were going to be in an air-conditioned setting because you were in school, you were at work, or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's people going back to work.
Yeah.
It could be so many
different things.
It
could be the way the virus, not trying to find it, responds to the heat versus the cold. Like nobody really knows.
Yeah. So everybody scaled back tracking, so we don't really have the numbers we used to have. Even with that, though, we do have numbers that we do keep up with, like hospitalizations, which is, so this is the kind of thing I try to concentrate on because I see the doom scrolling social media post about this, and the anxiety takes over in all of us and we get worried and stuff. But I'm gonna rationally try to talk people through it the way that I rationally talk myself through it. Right. Number one, we knew we were never getting to zero COVID.
Right.
That's number one.
That was a hard pill for me to swallow, but yes.
Right. Number two, while we're American centric, we live in America, no country has beat COVID.
No.
Zero of them. Not even the ones we tout as like Japan, China. They still is kicking their ass too. Two, it's not really kicking our ass the way it was kicking our ass.
No.
Especially considering most of you motherfuckers didn't get boosted.
Nope.
So it's like 17% of people that were eligible to get boosted got boosted. So it really should be fucking us up way worse if it was the COVID of old.
Yes.
But being that it's these new strains, and these new strains are more like a flu as far as the general amount of sickness, not the long-term long COVID shit. I don't know about those numbers, but
right.
The way that people aren't getting so ill that they're dying or having to go to the hospital at high rates, that's another thing that people aren't talking about. Because if you look at like social media, the doomsayers are like, this is why Biden, this is negligence. We should have never did this. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Honestly, shut the fuck up. Because no country is under lockdown right now in the world. In the fucking world.
No country. Everybody open back up.
This is it. We live in this way, getting sick this way and dying this way forever. And there's nobody that can stop it. You scared, I'm scared, we all scared. We're all out here risking it all for the things we feel comfortable risking it for. And that's really the new normal. And I'm not saying you can't wear a mask or no shit like that. I'm not anti any of that stuff. But I'm just saying this idea that we're going to go back to like them 3 weeks under Trump where everybody was taking it serious and locking down, it's not happening.
No, it's
not going to happen. So I think you have to look at the numbers then. So there's been a 10% rise in hospitalizations for the country with COVID from 6,444 to 7,109. That's the week of July 15th. That being said, that's pretty fucking low.
Yeah, compared to numbers in the past, yes.
I wish it was zero, but that ain't happening. So we talking about 7,000 people in the entire country. But if you look at the way the articles are framed, you look at the way the Twitter threads are framed, they're trying to make you think like, oh my God, they're secretly everyone's dying from COVID and no one cares. And that's not what's happening. So the risk of getting infected is still fairly low, but it is rising. Masking continues to be the most easiest means of protection, especially when you're traveling or going to crowded settings like concert venues or sporting arenas. And get boosted. Those are it's gonna be the same information.
Yeah, that
every single time, and
never changed.
It's never changed.
So that when people talking about they keep flip flopping, that right there is very consistent. A lot of the stuff they change is based off of data and all this stuff, but that message has not changed. Get vaccinated, get boosted, wear your mask. That message has never changed.
And these are still the variants that the CDC has. The strains that they're monitoring, they're still closely resembling the Omicron strains, which the bivalent booster was designed to combat. So literally your booster is still your best chance. So, and there's going to be updated boosters in September. So
bitch, I'm first thing.
I'm going to get that too. But it's just the doom and gloom of it is mentally fucking with people, and people are starting to, to like panic, but I think this is just life now. If you thought we were going to zero, we were never doing that.
No.
So let's see. The CDC detected coronavirus, HIV, and hepatitis and herpes at an unlicensed California lab. There's a warehouse.
What's happening in this lab?
I don't know, some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. shit. It was a It was a warehouse in Fresno County, California, and they think it was home to an illegal, unlicensed laboratory full of lab mice, medical waste, and hazardous materials.
Y'all, they have rules and regulations about this shit for a reason, so shit don't get cross-contaminated. In certain ways, this shit has to be, destroyed and separated and all types of shit. You don't want, you doing some wild shit, and it's one of those things where it's like, y'all doing it illegally, which means you ain't following nobody's regulations.
I just want to know who the fuck had this lab.
Right, and why?
They said that it was an unlicensed laboratory. All the biological agents were destroyed July 7th following a legal abatement process by the agency. The evaluation required coordination and collaboration of multiple federal and state agencies to determine and classify biological and chemical contents on site, in addition to accessing jurisdictional authority under this unique situation. According to court documents, city officials inspected the location on March 3rd for building violations. That's definitely not what you want to hear with a lab. On March 16th,
because some of that shit has to be temperature controlled. It's all types of shit to go along with that, for the best of my knowledge.
On March 16th, an inspection by the county public health officials allegedly turned up medical devices thought to have been developed on site, such as COVID and pregnancy tests.
Oh, site!
Y'all been wondering where them dollar store pregnancy tests come from.
And to this warehouse.
Okay, they in there with the herpes mice. Certain rooms in the warehouse were found to contain several vessels of liquid and various apparatus. Fresno County Public Health staff also observed blood, tissue, and other bodily fluid samples and serums, and thousands of vials of unlabeled fluids and suspected biological material.
God damn, did they take a trip to Tahiti? The fuck is this? Like, they in there slicing and dicing people up? The fuck is this?
Hundreds of mice at the warehouse were kept in inhumane conditions. The city took possession of the animals in April and euthanized 773 of them. More than 175 were found dead.
God damn.
Yeah, they said they detected at least 20 potentially infectious agents, including coronavirus, HIV, hepatitis, and herpes. The tenant was Prestige Biotech, a company registered in Nevada and unlicensed for business in California.
So they didn't have no business there in the first place. I couldn't even imagine what it looked like. And my biggest thing is imagine the odors, all that shit in one place.
Oh, I got pictures of what it looked like.
My nigga.
You don't have to imagine. I can show you. It looked like a hoarder's house. Look at this is the furniture and chemicals that were improperly stored.
Wow, that look like somebody's garage when they be like, I hadn't opened up all my Amazon boxes yet. The fuck is this?
Yeah. So I mean, definitely looks terrible. The city official spoke with Ziquing Yao, who was identified as the company president through emails. He was like, I'm not coming in person.
Mm-mm.
Yao told officials that Prestige Biotech moved assets belonging to a defunct company, Universal Meditech Incorporated, to the Reedley warehouse after UMI went under. Prestige Biotech was a creditor to UMI and identified as its successor. See, this sounds like a shifting around your LLCs, so you never end up responsible for the shit you did.
Yeah, I guarantee you they got 4 or 5 different LLCs, all are separated, all not connected, all got different names and codes and shit. Well, yes, but I know, I'm not associated with that. This is the company that own that, and you go look, and I bet you this person is associated with it some way, shape, form, or fashion.
The other addresses provided for identified authorized agents were either empty offices or addresses in China that could not be verified. How much money did they get for the government from this? I wonder.
Right.
Yeah, like how were they getting PPP money? Oh yeah, we developing some vaccines and all kinds of shit. We need some money. I wonder. But yeah, some of our federal partners still have active investigations ongoing. I can only speak to the building side of it, said the city manager. So maybe they are going to pursue them for criminal charges because something illegal happened there.
Yes, it did.
Sales of COVID tests go up by 1/3 this month in the UK as cases slightly rise. Once again, it's not just America. The uneven toll of the coronavirus pandemic. I won't read this whole article, but to sum it up pretty quickly, Republicans are still dying at a higher rate. They died at a higher rate. We're just now getting some of the studies and the numbers back. This is from the journal JAMA Internal Medicine, JAMA Internal Medicine. They published a study that supported a theory that many suspected. The pandemic didn't hit all Americans the same, and Republicans who lagged behind in accepting the COVID vaccine paid a steeper price. They examined 538,000 deaths of people 25 and older in Florida and Ohio between March 2020 and December 2021, and they found larger increases in excess deaths in that period among Republicans, particularly after the COVID vaccine was introduced. Overall, researchers found registered Republicans saw a 15% higher increase in excess deaths. That is deaths beyond what would normally be expected. Democrats over the period study. So, yeah, I mean, it's an ideology thing. They politicize it. I think this is also why you saw people like Trump and the Republican Party start accepting and trying to change the messaging around the vaccine near the end of his tenure to like, hey, well, actually, we should take it because their voters were dying.
Right, and a lot of their voters are older people who are at a higher risk. Who, when they caught this shit, the odds of them being on a ventilator are high. The odds of them dying are high. Odds of them catching long COVID are higher than any other group of people because their base is a lot of older white people, and so. Yeah, somebody started doing them numbers. They was like, "Hey, dog, like, you getting ready to run again?" And across. And I think you even read an article that was saying, across the states that were Republican ran, there was just literally more deaths. That just not count. There was like just more deaths across the states that they didn't take it seriously. They didn't went in a rush to get the vaccine out. They delayed shit. The death rates were higher.
I'm supposed to feel sorry for that bitch. I don't.
Mayhem. China warned by the U.S. and France on air safety during COVID. Emails obtained by the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration reveal concerns over Beijing's zero COVID policy. China's strict COVID rules for flights during the pandemic were repeatedly flagged as an air safety risk by foreign officials, with one diplomat describing the situation as mayhem and even dangerous. The emails obtained by the United States Federal Aviation Administration show that China's zero COVID policy, including a strict quarantine and disinfection procedures, was a source of safety concerns for multiple countries, including the United States, France, and the Netherlands. In August 2021, the French embassy in Beijing warned the Civil Aviation Administration of China that the new closed-loop procedures and compulsory quarantine for ground staff raised serious flight safety concerns. The situation is getting mayhem and even dangerous as these new regulations plant serious flight safety concerns. The French embassy told their U.S. counterparts. What is the concerns? Let's see. Over unilateral measures taken by China since March 2020, such as circuit breaker, these new measures could drive to additional cancellation of flights. This warning has been coordinated with the Netherlands. We hope other states will join our concerns. Okay, so this is basically stuff that happened during the pandemic, and we're just now getting hold of how countries felt about China's zero COVID policy because it was disrupting travel and aviation schedules, because they were on some like, listen, first of all, don't come your ass here. Second of all, if you come here, we gonna sit you down in a hotel for 14 days. You gonna have to quarantine before you can even start whatever it is you're doing to visit the country, and you gonna have to test to get on and off the planes. And if somebody gets COVID somewhere, we shut the whole fucking airport down. We got to. They would, so I guess they thought it was more dangerous to be disrupting the global transportation than even the risk of COVID. I guess that's what I'm taking from these what they wrote.
Yeah, they're basically going, y'all inconveniencing everybody, basically. Yeah. I mean, not trying to find in the middle of this, people was not traveling anyway. Right. But it's like the handful of people that are traveling at a higher risk.
And also, if I remember correctly, when we were covering this more often, it was also like a dick measuring contest between America and China on who was gonna be the one to talk the most, like to be like, no, you the one that's fucked up. No, you won't let us come to your country, but we ain't gonna let you come to our country. And it did get kind of into a pissing contest.
Yes, because this is when Trump was in office, and that's when Trump started, calling it the
China
virus and all that bullshit. Like that's where that shit stemmed from.
All right, let's get into some other news. All right, see what we got here. not sure if he sampled it or not, but every time I hear that song, that instrumental, I think about this Anita Baker song. But that from beginning to end, I think that. Anyway,
365 days of the year.
Yeah, I don't know why I feel like the sample is in there.
Love again.
All right, let's talk about the news. Cardi B chucked a microphone at a concert goer who threw a drink on her while she was performing in Vegas. Go ahead, go off, sis.
This is very frustrating. There has been an uptick of people that feel like just attacking the performance. It's like, why? Why you paid to be here? Why are you attacking the performers? I don't get it, and I don't understand, and they need to fucking be arrested. It don't make sense.
Yeah, I don't get it either, and
you're gonna hurt one of them, like they hurt that woman, that dude here with that phone and fucked her up. It's gonna take a celebrity suing a fucking regular ass person, and everybody gonna think they wrong. No, bitch, don't throw shit at me.
BB Risha had a phone thrown at her and had to get stitches. And yeah, it's been a trend of people doing this. So, and this is the actual video of it. Now, my favorite part of this is that Cardi takes the mic from her right hand to put it in her left hand so she can throw it. So I believe Cardi B is a patron saint of left-handed people like myself. So we love to see it.
Yeah, and she not the one to fuck with. Like, like I don't know why people think these celebrities gonna take y'all attacking them and everybody gonna think it's all good and it's funny. No, it's not. It's not funny.
Yeah, she ain't missed. She doesn't miss. She get in them fights. I mean, listen, ask Tasha K. All right, but yeah, this is the clip. And she hit her. She being this lady. And I guess we'll never know because I've never seen anyone like interview these people. But what the fuck were you thinking?
Right.
I just want to know, like, is this just? Are you trying to go viral? Is it?
And you don't think it's gonna be any consequences?
Is it a parasocial thing? Is because I could understand if a celebrity is like, "Yo, arrest this motherfucker. I am pressing get their info because you see who did it. Get their info because everyone got a fucking phone out. You're going to like. I honestly don't get what's happening here. I really don't. Now I do think it's funny that the track keeps going, including her voice, meaning like she was just up there lip syncing or whatever. That's funny to me. But I don't think anybody, not many people rap or sing anymore like this, but it was just funny to me that the whole mic is off stage and it's still Cardi's voice.
You still hear shit pumping through the speakers?
Right. Like her actual mouth is being like, you stupid bitch, what the fuck wrong with you? But all we hearing is, I make money moves. I got these is red bottom. These is blood shoes. Also, I feel like security to me was a little, I don't want to say lax is the right word. I don't want to say that because it's probably the wrong word. But it feels to me like security are a bunch of motherfuckers that's always looking for a reason to fuck somebody up. And this time they kind of took their time, and I wonder if it's because it was a woman and they are dudes or something.
Possibility. And the thing is, it's like, it's a very, very, very small percentage of people that do this bullshit. And the problem is that the celebrities are going to protect themselves. So if people are going to get mad when they start making arrangements, like when they be like, y'all know what, push them seats back. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, you're not going to be able to be as close. All of a sudden, they're going to be like, you know what, I will perform, but I'm going to perform behind the glass or some shit like that. And people are going to get mad and upset. But it's like, bitch, people throwing shit at me.
Right.
What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Let's see what else happened. Raven-Symone says she has psychic abilities like her famous TV character.
That's so Raven?
Yes. She was on the best podcast ever with Raven and Miranda. That's her podcast. And she said that she has powers just like Raven Baxter. the teenage psychic she played on Nickelodeon. She said that I can walk into a room and read the room. People might not think that's psychic, but what that is reading energy. And energy is in the psychic plane because it's not on the physical material plane. So she was talking to Keke Palmer, who was a guest on this episode. While she is confident that humans possess gifts to see things before they happen, she interestingly does not believe in fortune tellers who utilize instruments like crystal balls. I don't know. I feel like that I don't know. That feels like her explaining something that I do believe in. So I'm not that shocked by it. I that's the kind of thing that I think back in the day I would have been like, I don't believe in that. But once you phrase it into like, you can kind of pick up on a vibe in a room or with certain people.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I think we all have intuition. We all are affected by other people's energies and stuff. So I believe in that.
Regardless,
I thought it was going to be like, I could tell the future or some shit. And I don't know. She just called something that I think when you compare it to her character on the TV show, that's ridiculous. But
right.
She just said something that I think a lot of people believe in. So I used to get sick being around certain people. And I couldn't figure it out. I went to the doctor about it, everything. They gave me fucking like medicine for acid reflux. I wasn't experiencing acid reflux, but I literally would feel like I needed to vomit around certain people. And those people got themselves out of my life kind of their own accord, to be honest. And coincidentally, like I didn't even think about it. I just noticed I wasn't feeling sick anymore, ever. I haven't been sick since. What the fuck else could that have been? Now look, it might not have been the spiritual energy shit, but it could have just been my anxiety was acting up around them, or they were triggering something in me that subconsciously I wasn't aware of. Whatever it is, I feel you, Raven. New TikTok trend using AI to help plan trips.
Somebody in the chat was talking about they was using the AI to plan one of their trips.
Yeah. You can use AI systems like ChatGPT to help plan your trip. Users create travel itineraries based on their wants and needs in a simpler, less time-consuming manner. Instead of slogging through hours of research, users get similar results with a quick conversation with AI. Well, better ask you raise your voice at the rental car company when they rip you off. Will the AI tell you that? It generates schedules, restaurant choices, and accommodations in just minutes, allowing travelers to get the most out of their trips. TikTok users are raving about Roam Around, Google Bar, Trip Notes, ChatGPT, and many others that are capable of taking on the skills of a travel agent and possibly taking over the travel industry. It'll be interesting how this really works, because TikTok is not always indicative of real life. It's edited life to show you what, like this is the most ideal, easy thing to do. But you also have these motherfuckers on TikTok that was trending. I think they stopped this, or I haven't seen as many. They were taking vacations places and then telling you why it was whack in that place.
Yes, that was yes.
And I'm like, did ChatGPT plan this trip? Because you keep telling me that France is trash, but I got friends that went to France and they loved it.
And they
had a great time.
Had the time of their lives.
So maybe these AI trips ain't what it's supposed to be. I don't know. But the travel influence game, was it was also, those videos felt like a humble brag to me. I'm in France, like you'll never be, and it actually sucks. Like, whatever, I need to go see for myself.
Right, it is also one of those things. Depending on the trip and where I'm going and things like that, the travel agent is worth the cost, because if some shit go wrong, some shit fucked up, you have a person to contact. Hey, bitch, you scheduled this. The fuck?
Yeah, I guess. I guess. Yeah, you have some accountability, some trip insurance type things. Also, I just think we are really fucking up trying to do away with human knowledge and expertise. I do understand humans suck and they make mistakes, but so who the fuck made the AI? The AI gonna make a mistake too.
Yes.
And you gonna be in fucking Taken and be like, what the fuck happened?
Right.
And ChatGPT is like, I don't know. I was stealing people's information off the internet. I'm a fucking program. I've never been anywhere.
Right. And then if then you got to go through 9. Now, operator, and it's gonna hang up on you and start the whole shit over again. And then you're going to be twice as pissed because you're going to have to go through it 5 times before you can actually reach somebody because they done cut the staff down to 2 people for the 20,000 calls they get a day.
What staff? What number are you calling? What are you even talking about, Karen? What phone? It's Chat GPT. There is nobody to call.
Oh, I'm about to say, but somebody.
No, there's no, it's a fucking online internet program. Basically, like, it has no responsibility.
Oh, well then I'm not using that. If something go wrong, I'm looking at the cloud. Fuck that.
Yeah, so I don't. There's no 9 to call. There's no fucking operator to dial. You just are stuck somewhere. So if you end up in fucking Taken, or this fucking thing goes, oh, I didn't know you was black. You can't stay on that part of town. I don't know what the fuck Chat GPT is gonna do. There's no expertise that it has. There's no humanity that it has. You know. So I just think that, you know, I can see why someone would want to get with like maybe a travel tour group or something. And I get it if you want to just, I'm planning to do da-da-da, but you can't trust, to me, you can't trust TikTok or Instagram or any of this shit with real life stuff like, yep, then that's how it's going to be. That's how it was for them, maybe. Because that person edited that thing and put together what it was. This, like, here's this woman, roam around _IO. So this is more like an ad probably than anything, because it looks like it's not even a person really. It's the AI telling you like, hey, look at, someone used AI to plan this trip. And it's, we don't need the music. But as you can see, it's like, oh yeah, look, use our app and you can go on a bike tour, and it's a white lady having a great time in a bikini everywhere she's hanging out, and oh my God, it's so amazing. They don't tell you how much any of it costs. They don't tell you, like, you know, where exactly she's staying. It's just a video of her having a great time in another country with DJs and all this shit. And to me, it's giving Fire Fest. Like, this is the kind of shit I do the AI, and I show up and it's mosquitoes, and I'm living in the streets by the trash, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? Why
a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? The fuck is this?
Why am I not getting a white woman bikini experience? Like, they're like, oh, you needed like white woman bikini money to be fucking with that.
Yeah, that's true. And there's also one of those things to where, like everything else, it will get to the point where it works well. But right now, you still need people.
I don't have faith that it will get to the point where it works well. So that, you know, we'll see. I think this AI shit is mostly a grift, and I really do mean it. I don't think it's one day it'll be writing TV scripts and no, I think human beings will always be writing your hit shows. Period. I think the AI stuff might automate some tasks that are menial type of things, but like, oh, this artificial intelligence created the notes for a meeting by transcribing the notes or something. Maybe one day, right. Maybe, but it is definitely not today. And even then, I'm not sure we're ever getting there where those notes will be better than a human notes. Conservatives have a new way of avoiding woke companies.
Woke companies?
Mm-hmm.
Why they got a woke list or something?
It's a new app called Veebs. Veebs. Thanks in part to Veeb spokeswoman Bree Teresi, conservatives are embracing it. She promoted the app on her social media accounts. Teresi, a model and social media influencer, made headlines in April when she shared a video online of her shooting cases of Bud Light. Okay. However, Veeb CEO and co-founder Chris Rose told Newsweek on Friday that the app is not just for right-wing users, but people of all political persuasions. Yes, we've seen this app called the anti-woke app, but it is true that it's actually set up to help empower left-leaning consumers as well. You got to respect that. They don't give a fuck politically. They just want y'all's dumbass money. Like that, I actually respect their capitalism on this. Because they were like, listen, if you need to be against Arby's and Chick-fil-A, give us your money too.
Oh, we're taking all the cards.
We don't care if you hate trans people or if you love gay people. Whatever, you hate them, love them, we will take the money. You the one that care. Veeb users simply need to open the app, which can be downloaded on the phones. And next time you're at a store, scan the barcode of the product. The app will provide a score from 1 to 0 for the brand and parent company based on what is called value packs that the consumer set up on Veebs. The value pack options not only include liberal and conservative, but also climate emergency, LGBTQ issues, America First, support veterans, and social justice. Users must select at least one of these options, but you can choose up to 3.
Child, if you don't get out my face with this bullshit, I'm black and old because this is that bullshit where I'm like this. Everything you touch is fucked up and has something fucked up that you don't agree with it. Everything. And it's one of those things where eventually you have to make a decision. Am I going to be off the grid in the farm in the middle of nowhere, raising my own shit, and eat from the ground? Or am I going to be able to function in society and then just have a decision to decide what quote unquote evil am I going to have to live with? Because it just doesn't make sense, because basically they're getting money from everybody off of people feeling like I buy something, that means I'm 100% behind and I condone everything ever associated with the decision of my dollars. And that's not a true statement.
Yep. And then I saw people in the chat bringing up the AI thing. Let me just say this. Everyone's like, eventually AI will take over and it'll be running everything. Have y'all told the CEOs of the companies that yet? The people that make the decisions, they gonna let it take their job too? Right. It's not going to take over everything. It's not. Because Bob Iger's never going to be like, well, the artificial intelligence will tell us what the green light and which actors are hired. They're never going to let it happen, because then what the fuck would they do? So it's just not going to happen. Like, it is right now being used by the powerful as a threat against the people that have less power. We'll replace you with a computer. Until every McDonald's is artificial intelligence, I'm not believing this shit. It's the automated McDonald's thing again, where people go, well, there's one automated McDonald's I heard, I think maybe in Texas or Detroit or something. Like, I never seen it, but I heard someone drove around it.
Don't even know where it's at. Bitch, every McDonald's I've been to is people in that bitch.
And I'm like, and if you drive up the street, there's a McDonald's full of people. If you keep driving, every other McDonald's in that city's full of people, because it's a bullshit threat. They not really going to put machines in there and take over the world with fucking machine burgers. They're not really going to do it. But they will use it to make sure that the human beings who do work there never get $15 an hour. They'll make sure they never get insurance, because they always had a threat of, well, we'll just go to the machines. The machines are the new immigrants. The immigrants are the new slaves. Right. The slaves are the new indentured servants. It's all a fucking shell game. All right, let's move into a different segment. Sorry to be a bummer to everybody. This is what y'all come to us for. All right. Let's see how much time we've been talking. All right, let's do some fucking with black people.
Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people. Fucking with black people.
All right. Fucking with black people time. Let's do it. Negroes are getting wake-up calls on the GOP side, apparently. I'm sorry. It's so good. GOP congressman calls on Florida to correct Black history standards on slavery. Aides to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis pushed back against Representative Byron Donalds, who is backing Trump's presidential bid. Now, Byron Donalds, one, has a pretty pristine edge up. I'm actually pretty surprised by this in this picture.
So it's not at the Supercuts?
I mean, look, maybe Supercuts and Sports Clips stepped up, for all I know. But looking at this man's haircut, I wouldn't have guessed he's a Republican like I have so many other times for so many other Black Republicans. Well, immediately I looked at their headline, I was like, oh yeah, definitely see it. But I'm not gonna lie, didn't see it coming with this guy. But anyway, Ron DeSantis, who is running for president badly, has been his main thing has been, I'm the anti-woke candidate. I punish everybody. I'm running my state like a draconian enterprise. I'm trying to beat Walt Disney somehow. And so he's put the Black people in the GOP that are running for office and just public figures in a bad situation, because the standards that Florida is trying to quote unquote correct or whatever, or the changes they're making to the Department of Education, one of the things they're doing is suggesting slaves benefited from skills used during slavery.
Bitch, what?
Bitch, what indeed, Karen?
That doesn't make sense. Y'all, they do know when they came over there, they looked at what the people could do, and that's how so when they brought us over here, we already knew how to do this shit. Like, they ain't bring people over here that didn't have skills. The fuck are we talking about here?
Yeah.
These skills were in their tribes and their civilizations, their culture, thousands and thousands of hundreds, however years of them passing this shit down from generation to generation. So what you trying to tell me that the people came over here and y'all taught them? Well, tell that to the Native Americans came over here. Y'all would have died if they hadn't showed y'all how to live. But yet y'all know everything. Get the fuck out my face.
I mean, here you go trying to combat their lies with facts that they don't care about. They know what they're doing. They're not misunderstood. It's not an accident. It's not coincidence. They know they're lying. Mm-hmm. They need this lie. They must live on this lie, because how else are you going to not feel bad that your ancestors owned slaves, that they sexually assaulted people, that they bred people, that they beat people, that they killed people, that they took people's freedom? How are you going to reconcile that great grandmama is she baked them cookies for you and she fucking kissed you on your cheek and sent you to school and bought your birthday and Christmas presents? How can you reconcile that with the fact that they are genociders? You can't. So they've decided to live with a lie that slavery was somehow an altruistic thing. This is genuinely the original conceit of slavery, the original lie of we're civilizing these savages. Mm-hmm. This is the original lie. Ron DeSantis has taken us here. This is hundreds of years in the making to get us back here.
Yes.
This is why it is a vigilant fight to keep these people out of power. This is why you cannot turn a blind eye to the erasing of our history. This is why you shouldn't be a willful participant in the erasing of our history by going, I don't want to hear about that. Well, we need it, because this is the constant wave we are pushing against. If you don't, you get things like a literal statewide legislative movement to say slavery was good for the blacks. And that somehow, that is the line for some of these black Republicans. I'm shocked. I honest to God thought they had no line. Some of these people even have comments from the past saying things like, the Democrats have destroyed the black family. The black family was better off under slavery. I can't remember who that was, maybe Larry Elder or somebody, but it's not. The thing is, that is a thing some black Republicans have said and believe. They use it in abortion arguments and shit all the time. But this somehow, and maybe it's because they're trying to separate themselves from DeSantis.
Yeah, they're not gonna win either.
I don't get I don't get what the move is. If they really truly have these sensibilities, then I honestly feel like if you sold your soul for $20, then selling your soul for $15 should be the same shit. But they figured out there's a difference. So Donalds tweeted, Byron Donalds, the new African American standards in Florida are good, robust, and accurate. That being said, the attempt to feature the personal beliefs of slavery is wrong and needs to be adjusted. That obviously wasn't the goal, and I have faith that the FLDOE, Department of Education, will correct this. The comments echo remarks that he made in an interview where he said that the standards need some adjustments. Florida Board of Education could work to bring refinement, he said in the interview. Keep in mind, these are light critiques, right? Mm-hmm. He's going, they got a little wrong. Listen, no one's perfect. They just need to look at it a little bit longer and just, maybe look at the part where you said slavery was good for black people. You just look at that and, maybe change that just a little bit.
That's not happening. They meant what they said.
Of course, Kamala Harris called them out, opposed the new standards in a last-minute trip to the state last week, suggesting the extremist leaders were trying to push propaganda to our children. Ron DeSantis has defended the new standards and has used how issues of race are discussed in the classroom as part of his presidential campaign. He's against CRT and all that shit. Don't say gay, all that stuff. He said it was not anything that was done politically, he told reporters. DeSantis also pushed back against Harris, accusing her of having gone down to Florida to perpetuate a hoax. She here trying to push a fake narrative about what Florida did. In March, Donald snubbed DeSantis when he joined other members of Florida's delegation in endorsing President Donald Trump. This is why I said I don't even get these people. Donald Trump is as racist as Ron DeSantis.
Yes, he is.
That's it. Okay. I think I see. For some of them, they're MAGA Republicans. Them pushing back slightly on DeSantis's racism gives them an area probably to parlay into. I support Donald Trump, not Ron DeSantis. His racism is different and worse.
Because at the end of the day, they are going to vote for whoever wins the office, right?
Which will be a racist.
Yes.
Even if it's Trump.
Agreed.
So they're cool with, I think this is a way of pretending to be cool with one and not the other. But if Ron DeSantis was in the lead in the polls, they probably wouldn't say shit. These fucking cowards.
No, they would not.
Of course, the federal, the Florida's Education Commissioner, Manny Diaz Jr., can't vote. The federal government won't dictate Florida education standards, said Diaz. This new curriculum is based on truth. We will not back down from teaching our nation's true history at the behest of a woke White House, nor at the behest of supposedly conservative congressmen. They're now critiquing these black conservatives and saying they are basically Kamala Harris. They are fake conservatives. And they are not actual real Republicans.
Because at the end of the day, you still a nigga. And it's just that simple. Like I said, with a lot of the black Republicans, if y'all ever pay attention, y'all do realize black people aren't over there for long because it's always a new model ready to take your place. It's always somebody else in line ready to take that money. And they don't respect any of you. They just don't, because a lot of times you're not intelligent, you're not smart. You literally fit every stereotype that they have. They don't care. You're just somebody to cover their racism. And the part of the agreement is you cover my racism and I'll look the other way and won't remind you that you a nigga. But the second you step out of line, I have to let you know and put you in your place and let you know that you're up underneath me and you're beneath me. The end. It's just that simple. But I'm like, I'm supposed to be sorry for that bitch. I don't, because you took your ass over there.
Yeah, anybody trying to tell me on one side of their neck, Democrats have black people on a plantation, and then literally the only time you've ever even questioned the racism of your own people, your own party, you are immediately cast out. Fuck you. You spineless fucking coward. Fuck you. Because at least on this side of the aisle, black people have a fucking voice. And when we dissent, we're still part of the party. It's not, the black people are upset. Well, fuck them. They don't get a vote no more. They're not real Democrats. That doesn't happen. You have dissent is welcomed over here. It's not always good or productive, but fuck, it's not a zero tolerance policy like they have here. These are lightweight critiques. Tim Scott was even lighter. He said, and keep in mind, Tim Scott's running for president. Okay, very unsuccessfully. He won't win. Okay, he's a mealy mouth, spineless bullshit nigga as well. But he says, what slavery was really about was separating families, about mutilating humans and even raping their wives. By the way, this sentence, I have been thinking about this part of the sentence the whole time. I know it's a quote unquote small critique to most people. Mutilating humans and even raping their wives. Are the black women not human in his world? Aren't they humans too?
May not be. You never know.
Mutilating humans they be speaking. They don't even know what they be speaking, and they be speaking that bullshit. They be revealing who they are. Anyway, and it was just devastating. He told who Scott said to an audience at a town hall. He's of course the only black Republican in the Senate. So I would hope that every person in our country, and certainly running for president, that's DeSantis, would appreciate that. Now you would think, okay, that's kind of shady, but he stood up somewhat to Ron DeSantis. Let me finish his statement. People have bad days. Sometimes they regret what they say, and we should ask them again to clarify their positions.
There's no bad day. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a mistake. He did that shit on purpose. He knew what he was doing. There's nothing mentally wrong with this man. He said what he said and he did what he did. Cruelty is the point. What are we talking about?
I wonder what he's going to do today. I wonder what he's going to do tomorrow. This guy just pissing. He's pissing all over us. He's pissing on you. What does it taste like? What does it taste like? Because you know what? It tastes like piss to me.
Why are you pretending like Ron DeSantis misspoke or like he's apologetic? Like, oh, we should forgive him. Forgive him for what? He ain't sorry.
No, he's not.
Like this motherfucker right here is like saying slavery was bad is a lie perpetrated by the left. Slavery was obviously good for everyone involved. I don't even know why we are pretending otherwise. This is insane to me. And if this is what I have to do, if this is the shit I have to take to be in line with Killer Mike or Ice Cube or whatever, or Stephen A. Smith or whoever thinks I should just vote Republican just because, suck my dick. Are you fucking insane? Are you fucking insane? I'm supposed to just give my vote to these people. I'm supposed to throw my vote away some other day. Just fuck it. I guess it's all right if I don't vote. I'm supposed to be okay with these people being in power. From you already rich black men that's doing just fucking fine without us. I'm supposed to do that? This sound good to you? You like guns that much? You like having the big three and the fucking Republican conservative right-wing support of the co-founder of that? You like having that much? You throw us all in the trash? You know, this penny of fucking investment that they're gonna put into the not even the black community, but just you. These scraps from the table, Tim Scott, is worth your fucking dignity, dude. And the rest of these black Republicans as well. You spoke up and Master pulled out the whip and said, shut the fuck up.
Yes, he did.
And y'all gonna do it. Oh, you gotta forgive him. He must have had a bad day. They've had nothing but bad days. They've been bad daying us out of our fucking rights. Mm-hmm. They're gonna bad day us out of the Voting Rights Act. They're gonna bad day people out of the right to have a fucking abortion. They're gonna bad day people out of their rights to be born in the United States and be a citizen. They're bad daying us all the way out. They're bad daying trans people out of their rights. The fuck are you talking about? You silly niggas. Silly. No one can take you seriously.
Nope.
And especially not the fucking white people you're kowtowing to. Fucking right. Tim Scott with this dumbass statement.
Right, because I never respected you anyway. That's the whole part, you know, and it's also one of those things where, you know, you literally turn your back on your people, you know, and it's one of those things where as the black community as a whole, we're not stupid. And so, you know, some of them, quote unquote, is like you say, like Kanye West, the racism only matters when the racism happens to me.
You're window dressing. They do not respect you. They don't take your opinion into account. You are there to be their black friend card. Right. You are there to be the mascot that they hold up to say the things that they believe. Period. You are there to make it okay to be racist because some black people over here are just as anti-black as us. That's all the fucking purpose you serve. And the fact that you willfully with a fucking smile on your Motif Sir face say that shit and let it happen to you while like the rest of us can't see what's going on, it's fucking insane. And I don't care if you made America's Most Wanted or whatever the fuck else. It doesn't matter which black dude it is. It's all the same type of step and fetch it ass shit to me. So y'all getting, I guess, a wake up call, but I really don't believe any of them are waking up. They will be Republicans today and Republicans tomorrow.
Yes, they will.
Because it's more important to them to have that label. It's, as much as I want to respect Michael Steele, he still wakes up every day and puts that Republican label on himself. That it means more to him than anything than logic and sense means to him. That there's something fundamentally wrong about that. And I think you can't trick us into this shit. And they're using you against us. Like, because you know what DeSantis said to this? At the end of the day, you got to choose. Are you going to side with Kamala Harris and the liberal media outlets, or are you going to side with the state of Florida? I think it's very clear that these guys did a good job on those standards. It wasn't anything that was politically motivated. So basically, listen, nigger, are you going to get in line or not? Are you not? Because you can go be a hard R with the rest of them, or you can fucking come over here and we'll pretend that we're not calling you the hard R, but we'll just keep it internal, and we'll let you suck on the teat a little bit, just a sip, just a little. We're not gonna give you the whole milk. It's fucking insane. All this shit for nothing. Y'all don't be at the top of nothing, the top of no tickets.
No.
Y'all don't be the VP. Y'all don't be nothing. Y'all don't have no fucking power over there.
None. No
What are
power.
you trying to convince me? You just won't be different that bad, nigga?
Don't be running nobody's committee or nothing.
This shit should be embarrassing to y'all. But you know what? If you had the ability to be embarrassed, you would have been embarrassed a long time ago.
Agreed.
So that ain't finna happen. Scott's video, responding on Twitter to reporters posted Scott's video, a super PAC supporting DeSantis called the post incredibly sloppy or intentionally dangerous, reposting videos of DeSantis' defense of the curriculum earlier that day. Yeah, and Tim Scott ain't gonna say shit.
No.
You would think this would at least
hear
be
from him again on this topic.
You would think it would be at least a wedge issue because you're supposed to be running for president. So you would think that you would be like, you know what? I'm going to run this shit into the ground. I'm going to show people the difference between voting for me and voting for Ron DeSantis. But instead, you're just going to get up there and be like, oh, maybe BBK, he must not have been meant to be. You just cop and please for this motherfucker. Dracarys for me. Sorry.
I give it a 100. It's very frustrating. It's very irritating. It's a kind of a psychosis time, and it's one of those things where I don't have to respect you, and I probably never will respect you.
I feel like if it wasn't for fucking Trump, they wouldn't even have said this much.
Right.
If it wasn't just them trying to find a way to be like, no, this is why it's okay to vote for Trump. Trump would never pass this on a state level because Trump don't have no state office. He can give a fuck about that.
Right.
If he thought it was a way to keep that white racist MAGA fan base, he'd do it in a second federally. But okay, if that's really all it makes it seem like to me. So yeah, Dracarys for me. All right, let's get into something else. Actually, we do one more fucking with black people.
Okay.
The largest black fraternity moves conference from Florida after controversial educational curriculum was approved. That's right. The Alphas, which describes itself as having long stood at the forefront of the African American community's fight for civil rights, and the decision said that the decision was made due to what it called Ron DeSantis' harmful, racist, and sensitive policies against the black community. The fraternity's press release specifically mentioned that the new K-12 curriculum, saying it erases Florida's role in slavery and oppression, blames the victims, and declares that African Americans who endured slavery benefited from horrific and torturous institution. Last week, Florida approved new standards to align with legislation approved earlier this year by DeSantis, barring lessons plans from suggesting people are privileged or oppressed based on their race or skin color. The new standards say middle school students should learn how slaves develop skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. And when students learned about massacres, the lesson must include acts of violence perpetrated against and by African Americans.
Fight for that. Okay, Jakaris, fight for the motherfucking freedom. The fuck are we talking about here? This shit don't make no motherfucking sense. This is
Right.
stupid. Absolutely ridiculous.
This is like saying, because they would never teach in America. They never teach like the American Revolution this way.
Right.
You know, they never teach World War II this way. Right? The $4.6 million, that's about how much Alpha Phi Alpha conventions generate an economic impact. Yeah, Florida's losing money in a lot of this stuff because of DeSantis. And it's so funny because much of the Republicans' thing is being big business, being hands off, staying out of your life. And whenever they get in trial, they completely violate that 100% of the time. They don't care if it's going to cost the state whatever to be bigoted. They're going to do it.
Yeah.
The same way in North Carolina, we had a bill about the trans bathroom and ended up losing all these tournaments and all this money. And eventually that was the thing that led to Governor McCrory losing his seat literally in a very tight election. He barely lost it, but he lost his seat because people were just like, the pain you're putting us through economically is not worth your bigotry. And Florida, the shit is so locked up, the fucking votes are so suppressed there, there's no fear. So he's taking on Disney because he's like, fuck y'all gonna do? Your voters ain't gonna do shit, and white people will always support me. And so Ron DeSantis ain't worried about it.
Yeah, and the thing is, in a situation like this, I don't blame them for moving because they go, you know what? We're in these communities. We have brothers in these communities. They have family and children in these communities. We're not going to pump billions of dollars into your state for you to do bullshit like this. Take that money somewhere else. I do not blame them. And the thing is, like a lot of Republicans, kind of like they did here in North Carolina, they do this bullshit, like cut taxes, pass all these fucked up ass laws. The money leaves, right? But the budget still grow. So they get that money from somewhere. Where do they get that money? From taxing the people. Where do they get that money? From something that quote unquote used to be free. All of a sudden, you have to, here in North Carolina, you used to get your tag for your car. That shit lasts forever. But now every so many years, now I got to renew that bitch. Bitch, why? There's nothing fucking wrong with my old tag. There's nothing wrong with the bitch. But you have to compensate. You have to pick up the cost from the money that you lost by passing these fucked up ass laws that cause this money to leave. You're going to literally tax the people to fucking death because the money and the revenue, y'all still gonna need it.
Yeah. I give it a 0 though. 0 for this. Alpha Phi Alpha, I appreciate y'all putting y'all motherfucking money where y'all mouth is, standing up against them and saying, let's take our money and get the fuck out of here. We don't have to do this. And I could not support that more. And I love to see people do that. I know it's a tough call because there's black people in Florida, there's community members in Florida, but bringing y'all's conference down there and putting $4 million in the pockets of that community, nah, let's make a statement. Let's go. We can always go somewhere else.
Yeah, and the thing is the people of the state end up suffering because what happens is, I guarantee you, with that much money, it's a whole economy around them coming there. And now those businesses and all that shit is probably planned last year. They already had planned for this year. Now they have to go through, if they can get refunds, like it is just going to be a fucking mess.
Yeah, I don't know about how like that they canceled it on a whim and that it's everybody's already had their deposits down and stuff. They may have done it with plenty of notice.
Oh yeah. No. I'm just saying, like, a lot of times when people know it's like this, sometimes people make plans in advance. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't even want to assume that that's what happened because it might not have. Also, the NAACP down there told people we would like you to boycott Florida. So to me, this is an ask from the progressive black people in Florida, saying, hey, help us out. Don't put money in this economy right now. So I think a lot of people are sacrificing. This is what a boycott actually looks like. This is what organized boycott looks like. This is why I don't call people saying, I'm not buying this beer. That's not a boycott. That didn't mean shit. But people saying, hey, we are the NAACP and we're calling on black orgs to divest from this state. We are the fucking Florida NAACP and we're saying, yes, we're we as black folks are about to experience some pain, but it's more painful living under this fucking condition
Yes.
and acting like it's normal than just fucking saying don't fucking feed this beast. And it sucks because Florida's a great like vacation spot. All this,
It is.
I'm sure that these places people are like, yeah, I would have liked to go there, but fuck it. We're just gonna have to not do it. So I respect the shit out of them for doing that.
I do too. A 0 for them. The Jakaris came from like I started blending the articles together because the sentence was in both of them. So my other one went from 100 to Jakaris, and they get a 0.
All right, let's move into another segment. Let's do some guess the race.
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
All right, guess the race time. Time to undo all the positive stuff we just said. Drunk and disorderly Florida man was busted by the cops while drinking Florida man beer.
That's the name of the bill?
Apparently so.
Oh!
Seth Thomas, 39, allegedly was yelling at traffic while walking in the roadway. Yelling at traffic while walking in the roadway in front of traffic and refusing to stop. When he was collared by sheriff's deputies on the street in Seminole, a city in Tampa Bay area. Thomas, cops say, was drinking from a can of Florida Man beer at the time of his arrest. The beer is produced by the Tampa Bay Cigar City Brewing and is a double India Pale Ale that is brewed with a nearly criminal amount of hops and a moderate bitterness that just about matches Florida Man's general disposition. He was arrested for disorderly intoxication, which is a misdemeanor, and he was released after posting $100 bail. His rap sheet includes recent convictions for obstructing police, trespassing, possession of open alcohol, and disorderly intoxication. Sounds like you might have some problems. Karen, guess the race of this Florida man.
White.
Karen is going with white for this one. Let's see what the chat room believes his race is. White and needs another drink. I hear you. Bartender. Tread all over me, white, says Juwan. White, niggas drink St. Ives. White ran out of PBR. White, everyone's going white on this one. Seems pretty much the consensus. That's a whitey. The correct answer is white.
Oh!
Yeah, it like might have got clocked upside the head or something.
I'm about to say, did the traffic get him?
Yeah. Yell at the traffic. The traffic was like yelling back. Who knows? Let's go to the next one. Is this Florida too? No, South Carolina, sorry. A man is behind bars after an alleged late night rice assault.
Oh shit.
South Carolina man's behind bars after his arrest last night for striking a woman with thrown cooked rice on a Myrtle Beach street. Police say James Encarnacion, 31, was collared Monday evening following the late night incident. Charged with misdemeanor assault and battery. He threw rice into a vehicle of a 43-year-old male witness. While it's unclear who was the intended target, the rice struck a 39-year-old South Carolina woman sitting on the passenger side. She must have been a scrub. Cops noted that Encarnacion was holding a takeout container of rice when they arrived on the scene. So how much rice did he have? He threw
wasting food.
He threw some rice at her, but then he had some more rice when the cops came to the scene.
He must order economy size of the rice.
I don't know. Maybe he had 2 rices. Additionally, rice was also observed inside the vehicle near where the victim and witness was sitting. The incident occurred at a retail strip adjacent to an ocean beach, as well as a Mexican eatery and a restaurant selling sushi. A lot of rice in those 2 places.
Ain't it though?
Police cited no injuries suffered in the rice attack. That's what we call it, a rice attack. All right, Karen, guess the race of Mr. James Encarnacion.
James Encarnacion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Latino.
Okay. Let's check the chat room and see what they believe James Incarnation's name, I guess race is. Latinx rice warrior. Should have made chicken and rice Hispanic. You mean arroz con pollo? Okay, come on now. I know a little something. That rice had cilantro in it. Hispanic.
You know it did.
Come on.
I bet you that shit was flames too. That rice had seasoning.
Not that white sauce.
No.
The correct answer is Hispanic, Latino. Y'all got it. Yeah, that's him. I wonder what the fuck happened to make him throw the rice.
I don't know.
Cause to me, like, I mean, look, maybe maybe it's why I'm so fat, but I'm not throwing no fucking food at you.
Me either, dog.
That's if I got that shit to go, it's to go to my house, you know?
Not to go in your car.
Right. I don't know you. All right, let's go to the bonus round. Karen is actually 2 for 2.
Yay.
I ain't racist. How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas. Just call them niggas.
It's time to get
Gold teeth, gold chain wearing, fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate baboon, big guy, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
A Christian woman busted at Splash Park. A self-described Christian woman and grandmother was arrested yesterday at an Ohio water park after witnesses told police she called a child a brat and a fat ass and pushed them off of a floating toy.
Well, goddamn. Fuck them kids, apparently.
Let him use you, sis. Okay. Spare the rod. Cops responded to a disorderly conduct complaint at Cedar Point Shores Water Park in Sandusky. Irony. Sandusky, Ohio, is where they be messing up these kids. Interesting. They spoke with Jennifer Hutton, 32, who described a confrontation in the kids' pool between her son and a 67-year-old Michigan resident. In a police interview, the suspect identified herself as Jennifer Lee Miller and provided a cop with her date of birth, home address, and phone number. While admitting that she had called the boy a brat, she denied swearing at the child. She said she did not touch the minor. She stated she was a Christian woman and a grandmother, and she wouldn't do such a thing. After witnesses contradicted the woman's claim, a cop warned Miller that she could be charged for disorderly conduct if there was another incident. Meaning, I guess they weren't going to do it. But they departed the water park and determined, when they checked, that she actually gave him a phony name, a fake address, and phone number that just rang busy. When subsequently confronted about the discrepancy, the woman claimed not to have an ID on her, and she says, "I feel like I'm being harassed."
You see, then we're going to let you go.
Right.
Now you gave them false information, so now they're going to be like, now we got to arrest you because you gave us false information.
She said, "No, y'all the ones that's messing up. Y'all harassing me now.
You gave
so
us
just because I gave you false information, y'all think y'all can come back and run up on me?"
First of all, bitch.
The woman eventually admitted that her name was Janet Nail. She was arrested for obstruction, a misdemeanor, placed in the Sandusky Police Department cruiser. She lied about all of her information, had no reason for doing so, an officer noted, especially since y'all weren't going to arrest her anyway.
Right. You could have went on about your day.
She works at Home Care, lives in Taylor, Michigan, about 100 miles from the water park. So you took a 2-hour drive just to go over there and beat up some kids. Karen guessed the race of this Christian grandmother.
Or white.
Karen's going white. Let's check the chat room and see what they believe about this good, upstanding Christian grandmother.
Citizen.
We love to see it. Fuck you, Meemaw White. She didn't know they weren't going to arrest her when she gave the name. Well, yeah, sure she didn't know, Miss Smart. That's what you do when you want to get arrested. Got to think long term. Fuck them kids in Jesus' name, White. Fuck them kids, but now I'm the victim, White. Black home healthcare worker. She really screwed the pooch, White. Senior citizen Sandy Saint. 3 3 names, and she would have got off with just a warning and claim harassing. White woman in Jesus' name, amen. She wanted to be like Jesus and get arrested. White grandma version of John Morant. Black.
Oh
no. The correct answer is Karen. You got it right. White. A few of you blew it somehow, and I have no idea how. This is literally one of the whitest stories I ever heard. The fact that she gave them a fake name, and they was fitting to let that slide. They said don't do it again, and they had witnesses that saw the shit. What? She was lying. You caught her in a lie right there. What's the point of going back to the car to look up her ID? You caught her in the lie. Boy, must be 2 Americas, must be nice. GTBW is what they say. Okay. Sword ratchetness time.
That situation is a straight up it one.
Mm-hmm. But post office workers handed zombie sword to schoolboy who killed classmate hours later. Oh, and for those of y'all that don't listen to Firestarter podcast, it won if that was a nigga. Shout out to Firestarter.
Mm-hmm.
Bungling post office workers handed over a zombie sword to a schoolboy who used it to murder a classmate hours later.
What?
Fuck is a zombie sword?
I don't know.
Staff failed to check Prabjit Vidhasa's ID when he collected the deadly parcel, which had been sent as an age-verified item from a firm run by a former star of TV's Junior Apprentice. Instead, the counter staff apparently assessed the 16-year-old to be over 25 simply by looking at him.
So they didn't request ID.
Hours later, he and accomplice Sukhman Shergill murdered Ronan Kanda, 16, in Wolverhampton, West Mids, after mistaking him for another teenager they were in a dispute with. Vedhasa was the one who dealt the fatal blows. It emerged during the trial that Vedhasa had bought 26 knives and swords from DNA Leisure 26? In the previous 6 months using his mother's ID. He told the court he sold them to fellow teens to make money. So he was putting swords on the street. He's a sword dealer.
Wow. Wonder if his mama's name. She had no idea.
They both got life sentences earlier this month. They just handed my son's killer the murder weapon, said the mom of the victim. It was a teenage boy, not an adult. How can kids be buying these weapons so easily? I want that post office to be shut down. This is why they can buy it so easily. Because no one takes swords seriously.
No, they do not.
You're in a country that literally it's almost impossible to get your hands on a gun. But a fucking sword and 26 knives, just order it online, go pick it up at the post office, even if you're 16. That is insane that we live in a world like that. We need sword regulation.
Yes, we do. Just regulation. That's all I'm asking. Just regulation.
You shouldn't be able to just order a sword online. The 30-year-old, okay, we don't care about this. That's just crazy. That's it. There's nothing else to add here. Just sad story. All right, y'all. We'll be back throughout the week. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Have a good night. Check out our live show. Peace.